CJAX. Who got the angry rant today? And it's all about part-timing? What? Oh my, there's a problem with that? Well, let's go ahead and hear from CJAX.
WWE has a massive part-timer issue, okay? Your boy CJAX is feeling great today. I'm feeling energetic, you know what I'm saying? I can't stop thinking about Punk. And today, we are back because we have to address the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to WWE, alongside Triple H's garbage booking, right? Cody and Gunther's awful title reigns, etc. Part-timers are hurting WWE and setting a terrible precedent for the company, you know what I'm saying? So in this video, I'm going to break down all the reasons as to why. This is going to be a super rant, right? The Thanos of my rants, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for some truth bombs, you know what I'm saying? Not takes or opinions, some of that in there as well, right? But mainly actual evidence of the garbage that's right in front of us, you know what I'm saying? It isn't hating, it isn't bashing, it isn't criticizing or complaining if it's true. It's just truth telling, you know what I'm saying? So whether you love it, you hate it, you like it, you don't like it, shut your mouths and enjoy the ride that CJAX is taking you on. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into this video. Number one, I need to go ahead and go through a couple things. John Cena and Cody Rhodes are taking 3 weeks off, right? After that amazing heel turn segment for John Cena at Royal Rumble, Cody and Cena aren't scheduled to show up until March 17th. Are you serious? After that moment, how white hot the Cena trend is, you know what I'm saying, with him turning heel and everything like that, it's super mainstream what's happening with Cena being heel, and none of them are going to show up for another 2 or 3 weeks. Are you kidding me? I told you guys that these dudes are both part-timers, number one. And number two, I told you that after this great moment, the follow-up would likely either be lackluster or we would have to wait a long time to see it. And it's Mania season. The pay-per-view is in, the PLE is in like 6 or 7 weeks, and we're going to have to wait another 2 or 3 weeks for this feud to even really start. So there you go. There you have that. The biggest issue with the part-timing, and I have to address this even though, you know, this is my boy. Roman Reigns, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Got me back into wrestling. Roman Reigns has to take some of the blame for this part-timing trend that's taking place, along with Triple H as well, right? Roman Reigns obviously decided to start going part-time in, like, you know, the second half of like 2022, okay? But the thing is that even though Roman was going part-time, when he was showing up, which at that point in 2022 in the first half of 2023, he wasn't egregiously part-timing, right? Like, he was there at least twice a month, you know what I'm saying? He was there at pretty much all of the PLEs that year, right? Except for maybe like a couple of the C-tier ones that no one cares about. He was there pretty much most of the time whenever he needed to be there. He wasn't missing Manias or Chambers or Survivor Series or anything like that, right? And Roman was giving us great segments, right? Great matches, you know what I mean? The Last Man Standing versus Lesnar, right? When he was there in 2023, he was giving us great matches, like the feud with Cody was pretty solid, plus the match was great. His match with Sami Zayn was very good. His match with Kevin Owens at Rumble was underrated in my personal opinion, right? And then obviously Roman was doing good work in the previous years, him versus Drew at Clash of the Castle, list goes on and on. But the problem is, how is Roman Reigns able to do this part-time schedule while actually delivering good content, but now we're giving part-time treatment to jobbers? Gunther gets to go 6 to 7 weeks at a time without wrestling or showing up on the show. What has he done to earn that? Roman Reigns had grinded week in, week out for nearly over a decade at the point when he decided to go part-time, right? You know, he had the health complications as well. He was carrying the company on his back, giving us great segments, memorable feuds, memorable promos, etc. So he earned his right to go part-time. What has Gunther done to earn his right to go part-time? What has Cody Rhodes done to earn his right to have 7 title defenses as a full-time performer in 1 year as champion? Are you kidding me? This is what we're doing, right? It makes absolutely zero sense when you really look at it. Stop giving Roman Reigns treatment to jobbers. You know what I mean? When Roman returned at SummerSlam, this is a really interesting statistic too that I have to bring up. When Roman returned at SummerSlam, right, his PLE matches, he had a PLE match at Bad Blood teaming with Cody against Fatu and Solo. He had a PLE match at Crown Jewel against the Bloodline, right? He had the Survivor Series War Games match, which was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Hitting cages, kendo sticks, chairs, etc. Then he had the match versus Solo on Raw on Netflix, which was another physical match with tables, chairs, kendo sticks, etc. Then you had the match at what's it called? At Royal Rumble. He was in that. And then obviously his next appearance is going to be in a few weeks on March 21st. So that's 5 PLE matches he's been involved in. Cody Rhodes, since SummerSlam, has been involved in what? In what? He fought Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin, right? At Bad Blood, he teamed with Roman Reigns, so that's 2 matches. Then he was, what's it called? He was a part of the Crown Jewel Nothing Burger match with him and Gunther. And then follow that up, he wasn't at Survivor Series. Then he was at Saturday Night Main Event. Then he wrestled at Royal Rumble, so that's 5 now. 5 PLEs, I guess you could say, right? Even though Saturday Night Main Event is a glorified house show, so we're not even counting that. 4 PLEs he's been a part of. And then he wasn't even at the Chamber Wrestling. Cody Rhodes has less matches in PLEs than Roman Reigns does in the last 6 months. Are you kidding me? And this is a full-time WWE champion who was promised to be a fighting champ? Really? So that lets you know everything you need to know. When part-timers don't show up, it causes multiple issues with fan intrigue, viewership, and quality. Because the first ever Raw on Netflix, this is one of the bigger points I'm going to talk about. The first episode of Raw on Netflix, right, drew over 6 million viewers globally, which already isn't that great realistically. I mean, they used to draw 8 million viewers in the US alone, you know what I'm saying, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So I don't know why this is a big deal, right? 25 years ago, I should say, in the Attitude Era, you know, that kind of time. But the thing is this. The first episode of Raw on Netflix was built on part-timer lies. You know what I'm saying? They showed Rock. They showed Roman. They showed Cena, Punk, Rollins. You know, Jey Uso, oh, that entrance is epic. You know what I'm saying? Travis Scott showing up, right? You know, they had multiple things. Drew McIntyre, he's pretty cool, right? Raw was built on part-timer lies. Because after that first episode of Raw on Netflix, the viewership went from 6 million. And 3 weeks later, it already lost over half of its views, and it's down to like 2.9 to 3.1 million range. Why is that, you may ask, right? Because the simple truth is, they lied.
Okay, I had to pause it because I had to look at myself, and I did post the one, let's say February 3rd, where they did do a little bit something with the 3 mil, but look what happened after the 3rd. I mean, it went right back to 2, lower than ever. Look, 2.8 for February 10th and the 17th, and the 24th, 2.6. Whoa. Now they getting low. Oh, shoot. They getting low. But we got to wait for March, though. But I just want to show y'all the chart. So basically, they getting low. But hopefully, you know, we'll see what happens with March. But, yeah, they getting low, man. Like, they're not getting too low. But if this keeps up, they're probably going to go down to 2 mil. And that's no good. But, yeah, it's getting low. But we'll see what happens with March, though. We'll check back in the next 30 days. But let's get back to the video.
Only reason that people were tuning in the first week, like the majority of them, right? The people who were just clicking on it to see what it is on Netflix globally and things of that, you know, things of that nature, they were like, wow, we're going to get to see The Rock every week. Roman Reigns is going to be here. John Cena's going to be here. CM Punk's going to show up. Seth Rollins, you know what I'm saying? Travis Scott, what other celebrities are going to be here? You know, this feels mainstream. This feels cool. And the following week, you were doused out with Pete Dunne versus Ludwig Kaiser. You know what I'm saying? Or Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn, right? It's unacceptable. You understand what I'm saying? This is the type of stuff that gets people to not watch, which is exactly why the first week you had a decent ratings pop. You know what I'm saying? But after that, when the part-timers started part-timing it up, no one tuned in anymore. Because the key is, the most important and intriguing parts of WWE nowadays are all done by the part-timers and CM Punk. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns, John Cena, right? The biggest heel turn of all time, arguably. You know what I mean? The Rock, of course, always is going to give you big and important and, you know, talk-worthy segments. And then CM Punk is obviously the only person outside of those three that actually generates hype and intrigue and draws people to want to watch stuff, you know, along with, you know, guys like Orton, obviously, right? And sometimes Seth Rollins, etc. You get what I mean? Randy Orton's a legend, so you can't forget him, of course. And that's just the simple truth about it, right? The part-timers fooled people into thinking that they were going to show up consistently and they were going to be there week to week and the Netflix audience was going to love this and it was going to be some big deal. No, it's not. Netflix paid WWE $5 billion to have Ludwig Kaiser versus Pete Dunne be the penultimate match on the weekly episode of Raw. Are you out of your mind? Really? And I was talking to my friend yesterday, right? My buddy Lex. He is more of a casual fan, right? He watches all of the PLEs, you know what I'm saying? In Mania season, he watches the show week to week. He keeps up with the YouTube segments, you know what I'm saying, throughout the rest of the year. But the thing is this. He said a great point to me. He was like, from now on, after this Mania season, I genuinely think I'm going to watch, you know, just the Rock segments or Cena segments or Roman segments or their shows when they're advertised, right? And then outside of that, I'll watch all the PLEs and then I'll literally miss nothing. I'll just catch up on YouTube segments for the stuff I've missed for important people, like Punk or Rollins or Rhea Ripley segment or something like that. I'll just watch the 4-minute clips on YouTube, and that's it. And by that metric, he will miss absolutely nothing. Think about, for example, in this Mania season so far. If you just watch Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble and you watch Cena's heel turn after he won the Chamber at that Elimination Chamber, what would you have missed in this WrestleMania season? Absolutely nothing. And this is why WWE is failing, because the casual audience has no reason to watch the show weekly anymore. And that means that you're not going to make as much money. The merch sales have been down over the last 10 months since Cody became champion, right? The viewership has plummeted. They lost their Fox deal. You had a deal where you were getting 2.5 to 3 million viewers consistently when Roman Reigns was champion. And now you're on USA Network barely pulling 1.4 million views unless The Rock is on the show. So that lets you know that Cody isn't doing his job. And on top of that, the fans don't care because there's no star power week to week and no engaging or interesting storylines. It should be genuinely nearly impossible, right, for The Rock to show up and just immediately add in 500,000 or 600 extra thousand viewers to a show, right? Cody Rhodes should already be drawing those numbers by himself if he's really that guy. If Roman's drawing 2.7 by himself, why is Cody drawing 1.4? If Cody's really the North Star, the face of the company, what's the problem? What's the holdup, right? You need The Rock and Cena and all these people to show up, these older, wrestlers and performers to show up to bill you out, It gets ridiculous at a point. And so because casual fans are choosing to tune out, right, this is why the viewership is going to slowly continue to decrease on Netflix. It's going to bottom out at probably 2.5 million after the next couple months once Mania season is over with, right? And it's going to be as simple as that. Raw was built on part-timer lies, and now we're getting it, because of it. You're not missing anything by watching week to week. Unless you're a hardcore fan, a longtime viewer, you love wrestling, right? Or you're making videos or covering it or something like that, or you love talking about it, whatever it may be. Unless you're in that group, right? Or it's just something on Netflix and you choose to turn it on, you're not watching the show week to week at all. There's a 0% chance of that happening. You know what I'm saying? The casual person is not watching this stuff week to week. The only time they tune in is maybe on the PLEs or if there's a big Cena appearance or Rock appearance or Roman appearance on the weekly shows, which isn't very often. Now we have to talk about the next issue with part-timers. Part-timers, like I mentioned, build a bad precedent. This relates back to the thing where I said, if you're not Roman Reigns, why are you getting his schedule? You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. The precedent now is that all the champions basically get, carte blanche to not wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me? Right? It's ridiculous. Could you imagine a situation? Think back to 20 years ago, right? 15 years ago, the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Because this is when wrestling was great. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Late 90s in general, right? And then obviously in certain early parts of the 2010s, I think wrestling kind of capped out and stopped at that point. It had moments of greatness throughout the 2010s, don't get me wrong. And it's had multiple moments of greatness over the last couple years, right? But the fact is that in totality, the most consistent and great era of wrestling was in the 90s to the 2000s, and I think everyone can pretty much agree to that. Just think about this for a second. Could you imagine if prime John Cena, right, as your WWE champion, prime Batista as your world champion, you know what I'm saying? Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, Stone Cold in his prime, The Rock in his prime, etc., right? Imagine if all of these people just didn't show up week to week. You didn't know whether they were going to be on the show or not. You didn't know whether Cena was going to win the belt and then disappear for 3 or 4 weeks. You didn't know whether Batista would defend on SmackDown versus Rey Mysterio or something and then not show up for another 6-7 weeks like Gunther, right? You didn't know if Orton would take a CM Punk route where he wrestles a match and then all of a sudden, the match is hard fought and then he's just gone for 6 weeks and then returns for some big match. These are things that you never had to worry about back then. This is why the viewership week over week and the millions of people, the millions and millions of people who are buying and spending $60 to $70 on every pay-per-view did it with a smile on their face. I was smiling when I had to run downstairs, you know what I'm saying, with my little John Cena shirt on, and I'm asking my mom, can we please buy this pay-per-view? You know what I'm saying? Dad, please get this pay-per-view, please. You know what I'm saying? I was happy doing that because I knew that what I was about to watch, you know what I'm saying, what me and my family were about to watch was going to be peak, right? People going through tables, ladders, chairs, peak storytelling, right? Randy Orton and Triple H level feuds, you know what I'm saying? Shawn Michaels and Undertaker main events at Mania 26, stuff like that. That was the type of content that I was going to be getting. You know what I'm saying? But now, you don't even know if these stars are going to be there week to week. You see Roman wrestle a match, he's going to be gone for 6 weeks. John Cena, you see him show up and cut a promo, or you see him be in a match, he's gone for 4 weeks. Cody Rhodes, he wrestles 1 match on SmackDown and then 1 match at a PLE, and then he's not wrestling for 7 weeks. And cutting suit promos where he comes out and he's like, well, I respect it here, I love it here, and I appreciate it here. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Right? And Rhea Ripley literally put out a tweet today, right? And I put this in my community post. We have officially seen the fact that I am spitting facts in front of all of us. All of these promos are the same. How many weeks have I been talking about, I respect you, I love you, I can't stop thinking about Punk, and I'm gonna take back my title that I never lost, yeah, take back my title that I never lost, yeah, I'm a jobber, yeah. You know, now look at Rhea Ripley's tweet, where she's basically quoting word for word the exact same promo that Cody Rhodes and I have been discussing for years, or not for years, sorry, for months at this point, right? It's egregious. All of these promos are the same, and we're all seeing it in front of our faces. It is absolutely unacceptable that as wrestling fans who have been watching it for a long time, even if you just started watching recently, whatever, that you can't get a promise of the top stars and the top talents and the top stories and the top matches and the top competitors being featured week to week. The fact that we can't count on that is just insane to me, man. I mean, does that not bother anybody else? I don't know why nobody ever brings this up, or at least not a lot of people bring it up, right? And it just gets in the way of everything. You know, if I can't count on the top wrestlers showing up every week, why would I as a fan show up every week unless I'm in one of those, you know, those groups that I mentioned earlier, right? It's just not sustainable. And I think that it's a clear, you know, indicator of the fact that the product has dropped, right? And you have a guy like Triple H who, again, like I said, is just an absolute front runner. You know, when things are going bad, he doesn't say anything. He gives cliche answers, but then he gets one good segment and all of a sudden he's like, wow, are we back in Mania season now, guys? Stop. Sit down and relax yourself. Your booking is the reason why this was even questionable to begin with, you know? So stop acting like you did something special. You know what I'm saying? You booked us into oblivion, and now all of a sudden, you want to act like you saved things, but you didn't. And in a second, I'm going to talk about something that's absolutely egregious, you know what I'm saying, with the part-timers and the full-timers that needs to be discussed. But before I talk about that, we have to talk about this European tour that WWE is doing in this month of March, which is going to start in, I think, like 2 weeks or something like that. They're going to be going to, like, France, I think, Italy, Germany, all this stuff. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Gunther, who has wrestled maybe 2 matches since the beginning of 2025, right? He wrestled at Saturday Night Main Event, and then he wrestled a squash match versus Tozawa. So he's basically wrestled 1 match in 3 months so far in the year, 2 months at this point, right? Gunther is slated to wrestle multiple dark matches in this tour. He's going to wrestle a dark match versus Seth Rollins, a dark match versus CM Punk, etc. That is absolutely ridiculous! Why are we doing dark matches still? The champion, whoever the champion is in the dark match, is always going to win it. They're always going to win. You know, if you want to have them do a match that actually matters, just have them wrestle it on TV. Let the audience be a part of something special, and then give them their dark match afterwards. Yeah, I get that. But why is Gunther never wrestling on TV, but wrestling back-to-back dark matches? Really? You know? And where's Cody Rhodes' defenses of his championship on these dark matches and on these tours? Because Cody Rhodes isn't showing up for another 2 or 3 weeks. And that's why he's not on these tours, doing these dark matches. The European tour is an inexcusable reminder of the current state that we are in with these wrestlers. They're not going to show up, they're not going to wrestle, and they're not going to be there when it matters most, but they'll show up for a couple dark matches, though, in front of like 8,000 people, right? And like, it's just ridiculous at this point. WWE values, right, these niche audiences for dark matches when it doesn't matter. But when it comes to Netflix, if you're a longtime viewer, they don't care about you. So what is the audience even built for at this point, right? The part-timers have messed up the audience completely. They do dark matches for niche amounts of fans in the arena to give them something special, which is great for that. But then when you actually watch the shows week to week, you don't get rewarded because as a longtime viewer or a consistent watcher or a fan of wrestling, you don't get to see the top performers performing every week. So what's the point? If the general audience cannot be appeased, if the niche audience is barely ever appeased, and if your consistent hardcore wrestling fans are not getting pleased week to week, what are you doing then? What exactly are you accomplishing? I genuinely don't understand this new logic, right? In this quote-unquote new era from the game, Triple H, I book poorly, I'm a bad booker, I'm a front runner, Mania 41 is garbage, it's like what are you doing?
He just did an impression of Triple H. Triple H gonna get your ass for that. Oh man, I'll never disrespect. How you gonna disrespect the boss, man? Oh man, he gonna get you on that one.
Right? It's egregious at this point. And then back to the European tour, the simple ideology, right, that a European tour exists and these fans barely ever get to see these performers come down that way, you know what I'm saying, overseas and all that stuff. Why in the world are all of your top stars not there every single week for this 4-week tour? Every single wrestler on that roster that matters should be there every single week. There is no excuses. You're going overseas. You're going to try and sell out these shows with these electric, insane crowds. You know what I'm saying? Phenomena, phenomena, phenomena. You know what I'm saying? I love that French crowd at Backlash, just like we all do, right? But that France crowd is going to get treated to Penta versus Motor City Machine Guns. You know what I'm saying? Penta versus Alex Shelley. Penta versus Pete Dunne, right? Karrion Kross versus Ludwig Kaiser. That's what they're going to get treated to, you know? And I just think that's absolutely ridiculous how all these people can seemingly wrestle as many dark matches as possible, but in Wichita, Kansas, right? And in random places in Germany and all these other places, but for some odd reason, they can't show up on Raw to wrestle or to cut any good promos at all, right? It's egregious at this point, and it needs to be brought up. And then arguably the most important point of them all, the part-timers that are doing these part-time schedules are better than your full-timers. So therefore, you're at a standstill. Triple H can't do anything about it, right? No one can do anything about it at this point. The part-timers are just simply better. Guys like Roman Reigns, John Cena, The Rock, etc. wipe your full-timer roster with Cody, Drew, Seth, etc. And it isn't close in terms of intrigue, in terms of epicness, right? In terms of the storytelling being advanced when they show up, and in terms of the match quality when it actually matters. Roman Reigns is better than all of these guys. It's been seen, it's been proven. Roman Reigns has been in, 9 Mania main events? He main evented Mania 31 in a good match with Lesnar. The following year, I think he had a decent match with Triple H. The following year, you know what I'm saying, he had a pretty bad match with The Undertaker. He had a bad match with Lesnar the following year, right? And then after that, he fought Drew McIntyre at Mania 35. And then obviously at Mania 37, a banger triple threat match. Mania 38 was okay. Mania 39 was a banger match. Mania 40 Night 1, banger match. Mania 40 Night 2, banger match. And if he's going to get put with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, right, specifically Seth Rollins at this Mania 41, it's probably going to be a banger match. You know what I'm saying? And then that's not even a factor in the multiple SummerSlam bangers he's had. Why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing this? Right? It makes absolutely zero sense in my personal opinion why the part-timers are so much better than the full-timers. But when you really think about it, you know, the availability, right, of your full-timers to be there every week and be there consistently should lend to great stories and great moments and great segments and great feuds and great promos for them to, you know, actually develop themselves and elevate into top star position. But instead, in the absence of Roman Reigns, in the absence of John Cena, and in the absence of The Rock, they have been able, Triple H specifically talking to him right now, has not been able to elevate anything. Gunther has not elevated that belt. People are complaining about his reign, and rightfully so. It's a garbage championship reign at every single metric you want to look at. Cody Rhodes, his championship reign has been garbage in every metric that you want to look at. You know? I just don't understand this. No one is elevating themselves. The women's division is crap right now, right? It's absolute crap. The mid-card belts are just the Chelsea versus Michin belt, and then the Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai / Ivy Nile belt. And then Braun Breaker isn't even being utilized, and he's in his 20s. You know, he has all that talent. He has all those promo skills, those great athleticism, right? The great in-ring work. And for some odd reason, this dude never shows up. You know what I'm saying? What are we supposed to do with this? I don't get it. How can you fix this issue if you're not attempting to fix it? The next time we're going to see Roman is in 3 weeks, right? John Cena, the next time we're going to see him is in 2 or 3 weeks. And The Rock, who knows? We may not see him for months. So at this point, I don't even understand what even happened now. You know, Cody Rhodes never main events, so he doesn't feel like a main eventer, right? When Roman, Cena, or Rock is involved, Cody isn't main eventing. You understand? Unless he's fighting one of them, he ain't main eventing. We all know this. How many PLEs has Cody main evented since becoming champion? Right? Let's just look at it. Let's just be honest with ourselves. How many PLEs has this dude actually main evented since becoming champion, right? He main evented what? Backlash, King and Queen of the Ring. Again, 2C to B tier at best PLEs that no one cares about. You know, Backlash we care about, obviously, is memorable pay-per-view, but still. You know what I'm saying? Come on, it's Backlash, right? You main evented Backlash. Congratulations. You know, like let's be real with ourselves. Then you get past that, right? What else was there? There was Clash at the Castle, which Cody did not main event. You know, Bash in Berlin, Cody did not main event, right? SummerSlam, Cody main evented because Roman came back. That's about it. Then you had what's it called, man? Bad Blood. Cody and Roman main evented because The Rock showed up at the end and because Roman Reigns was involved. Cody then proceeded to the main event Crown Jewel, which again nobody cares about. It was a Crown Jewel belt, so he had to be there. So that's what, 4 main events on meaningless PLEs and meaningless matches and meaningless stories that weren't executed well at all. Okay. And then you have what next after that? He wasn't even at Survivor Series. He was then at Saturday Night Main Event in a meaningless match with Kevin Owens. Then after that, you know what I'm saying? He then was at Royal Rumble. He didn't main event that, obviously, because the Royal Rumble and the storylines and the intrigue with it is bigger than Cody Rhodes. Elimination Chamber, he didn't main event, or he did main event that segment. Why? Because Cena and Rock were both involved in that promo. Cody Rhodes has main evented 4 PLEs based off of his own stories and his own merits. And he's had a year as champion. You know, it speaks to the fact that Triple H doesn't truly believe in Cody Rhodes, and he doesn't believe in any of these full-timers. Triple H knows deep down inside that his biggest stars are going to continue to be guys like Roman, Punk, Rollins, you know what I'm saying, Cena, Orton, Rock, etc. He knows that Cody can't even hold a finger to any of these guys. But because Cody has the belt, they have to, like I said yesterday, manufacture moments for him. So Lesnar has to be forced to turn heel and lose to Cody Rhodes in a feud. Rollins has to turn heel and lose to Cody Rhodes 3 straight times. Roman has to get his legendary championship reign ended by Cody Rhodes in order to elevate this dude. But in between these great moments that he has for his character, what has he accomplished? Absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Feuds with AJ Styles that become mediocre. Feuds with Logan Paul that are bad. Bad feud with Solo Sikoa. A mediocre feud at best, which was mostly bad with Kevin Owens, right? It's not intriguing. It's not engaging. And it's not good. And so because he doesn't believe in Cody Rhodes, who's their top dog, their top guy outside of these part-timers, right? With his WWE championship, because he doesn't believe in Cody Rhodes and it's evidence, the audience doesn't believe in Cody Rhodes, and the audience doesn't believe in this product. You understand? It's a whole trickle-down effect. Triple H knows deep down he doesn't believe in this dude, so why should I believe in this guy? You know, he's not main eventing PLEs unless he's involved with The Rock or John Cena or Roman Reigns. He's not doing anything meaningful on SmackDown besides coming out in a trench coat and cutting bad promos. So what is there to say about this guy, right? It's absolutely egregious and unacceptable at this point, what Cody Rhodes is getting away with and what Triple H is getting away with. He doesn't believe in any of these people. It's the same thing with Tiffany Stratton, right? Why do you think that Tiffany Stratton is slated to fight Charlotte Flair at Mania? It's been slated to be like this now for like a solid month or like at least 3 to 4 weeks, and neither of them have done anything to elevate or build the feud. He knows Tiffany's still botching in the ring. He knows she's grin on the gills and isn't good on the mic at all yet. He knows she's all hype with just a one saying that gets over with the crowd with the Tiffy time. That's it. He knows these things. Why do you think Rhea Ripley barely wrestles and barely cuts any promos anymore? She's not good on the mic, and when she does wrestle, usually the matches are decent, right? But she's not someone who's going to put out there consistently because of obviously injury risk, and on top of that, Rhea Ripley just doesn't have any engaging storylines or matches that she can elevate, at least currently constructed, you know? So therefore, Rhea Ripley isn't there. Right? It's the same thing with guys like Drew McIntyre. He knows that Drew McIntyre is like a fringe, elite guy in the company. But the simple truth is that Drew McIntyre, if they were to give him the WWE belt or the World Championship, would he be able to carry it at this current stage with the way he's being booked? Probably not. And is he a bigger draw than guys like Punk and Rollins or Cody or, even Roman, right? All these other people, right? Heck, I mean, honestly, at this point, even Jey Uso, you know what I'm saying? Jey Uso's going to get a longer world title reign than Drew has in years, Even Gunther got a longer world title reign than this dude had in years, So Triple H has more faith in these dudes than he does Drew McIntyre. And if you're showing from person to person, these people who are supposed main eventers who carry the show week to week, the quote-unquote workhorses, right? The Cena schedule guys, which, I mean, yeah, they may have the Cena schedule right now. You know what I'm saying? The new Cena schedule where he doesn't show up at all, right? But the fact is that the actual Cena schedule, the classic Cena schedule, they don't have it in them to be engaging and cut promos and be great in the ring, great on the mic, and consistent week to week. And Triple H knows this. This isn't a roster that has guys like Cena, Orton, Batista, Triple H, Michaels, Rey Mysterio, Prime Punk, you know what I'm saying? And then occasional appearances from The Rock, right? Heel Miz, who's very good, you know what I'm saying? They don't have a roster like this. Their roster's not deep like that. They don't got a Jericho just sitting around doing nothing. They don't got an Edge just chilling around doing nothing. They ain't got nothing, And so because we know they don't believe in those people, we know that these people cannot hold the show up week to week, hence why the viewership has dipped over 3 million views. Over half your viewership has been, doused out and gone in 4 weeks, not even, We know that they don't believe in these guys. We know they're not good enough to carry the show. Therefore, we rely strictly on the segments from guys like Roman Reigns, right? The Sami Zayn Bloodline trial segment, the Bloodline Civil War segments, you know what I'm saying, with an S, the Roman and Cody promos, right, that were actually pretty good. At least on Roman Reigns' end for most of them, right? Cody had some good moments in there as well. Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? But you get the point. Roman's storyline with Lesnar, right? His storyline with Rollins, you know what I'm saying? His story with Drew, right? His promos where it's just him in the ring talking trash, the contract signings, you know what I'm saying? The great main event matches on all these PLEs. We rely on that. We rely on the fact that when he's there, he's going to elevate stories and give us a reason to watch week to week. We rely on The Rock to give us incredible intrigue, epic entrances, epic cameos, and all-time great segments with an all-time great heel run as the final boss. We rely on John Cena to entertain us and to give us great stories and great promos and cool moments that he's been given to us for 2 decades plus now. We rely on CM Punk, even though he's not a part-timer, he's a full-timer, at least in terms of showing up, not a full-time wrestler, but CM Punk shows up, right? And he cuts good promos. He builds stories, he builds feuds, and sometimes he unexpectedly wrestles and sometimes gives us a good match here and there. We rely on guys like that. Seth Rollins to be consistent in the ring and give us good matches and occasionally great promos. That's what we rely on. Jey Uso to hype the crowd up, LA Knight to cut good promos and then go out and wrestle a solid match. That's what we rely on. Orton to give us those moments, you know what I'm saying? Those are the guys that we rely on. We don't rely on Cody Rhodes. We don't rely on Drew McIntyre. Well, at least not anymore, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in the Thunderdome era, sure. But we don't rely on these guys, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that anymore, right? We don't rely on Ludwig Kaiser, on Penta, on Braun Breaker, right? On what's it called? On Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Your own world champion and your own WWE champion. We don't rely on. We don't rely on Tiffany Stratton, right? We don't rely on Rhea Ripley. Some people do, but not me. I don't rely on that, right? Because she's not the best part of Raw at all. Liv Morgan is honestly close with her in terms of the intrigue and entertainment value they've been providing over the last month, or the last year, right? So it's just, we don't rely on these jobbers that make the show up week to week. We rely on the actual great talent that they have. And that great talent is not only is not used enough, right? But they never show up, number one. Number two, they're never there when it actually comes to meaningful Mania seasons. Like right now, Cena's not going to be there for another 3 weeks. And number three, they don't wrestle consistently. And number four, because they're never really advertised for shows most of the time, there's no reason to tune in week to week. That's why your viewership is down. Your Mania 41 season is dead effectively immediately. Now that Cena and Cody aren't going to show up, I could care less about that segment. I'll care about that segment again in maybe 3 weeks from now when they actually show up to work and build the feud and build the promos for this actual match at Mania 41. You get what I'm saying? So it's as simple as that. Your viewership is down, the storylines stink, and honestly, the part-timer stuff is killing WWE. It's giving it a slow death, and it's as simple as that. Let me know what you think about the part-timer garbage and the part-timer, nonsense that we've been getting for the last couple years at this point, and specifically over the last year that's ruining this product in my personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts on the video as a whole, right? And let me know your opinions on everything. I sincerely thank you guys so much for your support recently, because quite frankly, I wouldn't be able to do this, if it wasn't for the support and the consistent, outreach and engagement from the fans. It's just as simple as that, right? And at the end of the day, I do appreciate you. I love you. And no matter whether you're dropping a hate comment or a love comment, whatever, a supportive comment, an idea, a critique, whatever it may be, I welcome it all, because I love wrestling, I love media, I love entertainment, and I will continue to talk about it until otherwise. You get what I'm saying? So thank you guys so much for your support. I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. If you made it this far in the video, honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to drop in the comments, right? But I just know that I appreciate you and I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If you made it this far in the video, just comment like CJAX or something. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter, right? If you made it this far in the video, you know who you are, and you know that you that dude, and you know you a real one. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, deuces, ooses, yeet, peace out, have a phenomenal day, one love, goodbye.
Damn, Hunter, what you gonna do? I'm looking at these views, it's going down, bro. But we'll see what happens with March, though. We'll see what March looking like with the numbers. But however, this ain't looking good. But everyone hating on AEW, but WWE, man. It's still a million, but I don't see the hatred with AEW when I'm looking at this, I understand they can't get a million, but damn. Damn. But that's why we watch NXT, sometimes AEW, Yep. But y'all comment down below, let me know what y'all think about this video. What are your thoughts on this video? Do you think WWE is falling off, or do you think it's just a slow up? Y'all let me know on the comment box, Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, all right? Talk about it. All right, I'm out.